Hi, my name is Cliff Willmeng, and I am a community member of Lafayette, Colorado, and I am working with East Boulder County United. We're going to take a few minutes in this video to go over regulations and what regulations are, their perceived purpose and their actual purpose, and how they work on communities that are facing inherently dangerous processes like oil and gas development. You'll hear a lot about regulations from politicians, from industry officials, and typically you'll hear these regulations spoken about in a way that would give you the impression that this is the means by which a community can participate in the process and determine the conditions by which drilling will take place. There's a few things that we need to know about regulations right off the bat that are of critical importance for anybody facing these kind of industrial processes. For one, the regulations are all based in the expectations of the state and the industry, particularly the Colorado Oil and Gas Act. The regulations are not written, and the state will even admit this, to provide any additional public safety in any way. They also are written in a way to preclude any ideas or hopes or aspirations of some real community involvement, particularly and most importantly, a community's ability to say no to the project, right? So the regulations are not based in science. They're not based in human health considerations, and they're certainly not written with any consideration to the real democratic rights of communities or people when it comes time to say no to this industry. The regulations do provide three very important functions for the state and industry, however, and these functions are never talked about outside of community circles or grassroots efforts to fight the industry. So first and foremost, the regulations are there to provide the illusion of public safety, when in fact we know that they are not based in health requirements or considerations. Secondly, regulations provide political cover for local politicians, state officials, and industrial representatives while a community is maneuvered from having no wells or very few into the process of being fully drilled. There is a cultural value in Colorado, of course, to respect the environment, and any community that is facing the oil and gas industry is usually very concerned about this consideration, the destruction, the inherent compromise of the local environment. And so it's very difficult for politicians to maneuver drills into a community while still appearing as though that they have an environmental record, or that they are fighting for the environment. So what the regulations allow politicians to do is to promote themselves as environmentally conscious officials while at the same time negotiating the exact terms by which a community is going to be drilled. So that's the second purpose of regulations. The third purpose, of course, is that regulations guarantee that a community will be drilled. And of course, as much as the industry enjoys feigning opposition to these regulations, the industry knows the outcome because the outcome is already scripted. The regulations will determine the conditions by which your community is drilled. So here at East Boulder County United, we've become quite familiar with this process. We understand it as inherently manipulative of communities, because we know that the outcomes are already determined. So this is a script that we have rejected for some time now. And what we are saying is that the regulatory process is nothing short of negotiating better conditions of surrender for our community. And we reject the idea that we would substitute a real fight for our community rights, our local democratic rights, and real considerations, medical and scientific considerations for our health and well-being as a substitute for oil and gas development. So that's a little bit about regulations. You're going to hear a lot about them in Boulder County and in Lafayette over the course of the next couple of years, and we hope that you can consider these ideas as you discuss oil and gas development with your friends and neighbors. So take care.